So apparently there's still people who ask how to tame a Tyrannosaurus or an Apatosaurus or just a tier 3 creature in general. Well, guess what? No, you have to read the fucking MCPEDL page. And to that guy who asked if how to craft tier 3 taming food, there is no such thing as tier 3 taming food. And I'm going to have to read this from the MCPEDL page verbatim. Or the wiki, or the Prehistoric wiki I would put in the descriptions of my video. Which is to fucking kill adults in the wild and to hatch their fucking eggs. There, that's fucking simple. And if that still hasn't gone into your head, well, I'm going to bring up this old video from back when people were asking how to download the add-on from GitHub.
You are fucking retarded. You are fucking dumb. You are an illiterate fuck. And that's all I need to tell you before proceeding to this tutorial.
And if that still hasn't gone into your head because you're that type of person who never reads their YouTube notifications, unless I have replied to them in like a fucking second, well, guess what? I'm going to have to teach you how to do this anyway in this video step by step. I have to bring up this fucking meme I made back when this format was still popular just to illustrate my contempt to them. And I made this the first step because I presumed they're where you get your add-ons in the first place. Ever since I added that fucking watermark because I wanted to protect my work from those shameless YouTubers who clickbait the living shit out of add-ons and putting them behind ad-play links, they stopped updating the versions of Prehistoric Rift. And emailing them, yes, I even tried to email them, hasn't even fucking worked. So always get this fucking add-on on MCPEDL only. But I don't know how to import it into Minecraft on my phone, you say. Well, fuck that. I'm gonna teach you how to do that on Android devices. Alright, so I'm now here on the MCPEDL page for Prehistoric Rift, and you're probably gonna see this. And what you're gonna do is that you have to scroll down and avoid clicking on the ads. And yes, I'm going to use BlueStacks because I don't use my phone for mobile gaming, because I'm not much of a mobile gamer. Scroll all the way down until you reach until you reach this section, the download section, and you're going to have to click download now, and click here to continue, and then you're going to have to click download 0.6.8.1, and oh wait, that's an ad. Yeah, you're going to get that sometimes. You're gonna get that sometimes on my own website, and then it'll be downloaded onto your system. And then the next step is to download FX File Explorer. And yes, you have to go to the Play Store and then download FX File Explorer. Now, after all of that, you're going to have to go to where your downloads usually go to. In this case, it's the downloads folder. And then what you're gonna do is that you're going to tap and hold, and then click over here. And you have to remove all these dots in order to prevent issues for importing. Like, remove every single one of them except for the one that's before the MC add-on part in the name. Click OK, and then tap on it, and you're going to see Open with Application Minecraft. And now all I just have to do is tap on it. Alright, and then as you can see, there will be this import started part, and there. The add-on has been successfully imported into your game. And that's all I have to tell you for step 1. So the moment you probably opened up your world after importing this add-on, you're probably going to see this. And that's pretty much because you haven't even bothered to turn on experimental features. So in case you're that type of person who doesn't even know how to turn them on, well, guess what? I'm going to show you how to do them. So we're now in the Create the New World UI, and what you're going to do is that you're going to have to go all the way down to Experiments, and then, well, turn every single one of these on, except for a spectator mode. So this one, and yes, turn on Experiments anyway. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Yes, turn on every single one of these because they're extremely essential for how the add-on works. Then next of all, you have to go to Cheats, and then click Cheats. And just try to resist the temptation to use commands because, well, and then also if you really want to resist that, just turn this off. And yeah, and then you're gonna have to import that on as always, as usual. And there. And after all of that, let's create this turn this into creative. And let's create a new world, and we're just gonna wait and see. And what do you know? That pop-up that will basically remind you to turn on all of those experimental features, well, it's basically gone, which means that you can play with the add-on as much as you want and use all the features up to their maximum potential because, well, yes. Well, there's two ways in order to obtain a Tyrannosaurus egg in survival, and I'm going to call both of them the hard way and the easy way. And I'm going to do the hard way first because I just love watching people suffer. Now, theoretically, you could probably just, I don't know, give yourself some of the most OP items that you can get in Minecraft, like fully enchanted netherite gear and like a full stack of golden apples, just to be able to hunt the Tyrannosaurus. But here's the thing: you can't face a Tyrannosaurus one-on-one because, well, guess what? They deal 35 damage, have 160 hearts of health, and the moment you go even any closer to them, you're going to get weakness 2. Yes, weakness level 2, which pretty much sucks, especially if you just want to try to kill it, because guess what? It's going to make things harder for you. So, and also what's more, every time they take damage, they will roar, and this roar will basically knock back everything that's around it, as well as destroy blocks that are weaker than wood. So, if you really want the most optimal way to kill a Tyrannosaurus in survival mode, and assuming that that you basically have only iron gear by this point, because, well, netherite and enchanted golden apples are probably endgame only. Well, there are two ways to kill a Tyrannosaurus. The first step is a bow, and yes, that's pretty much because the weakness effect does not affect how much damage bows do, and because you're pretty much safe from their very high damage output. But here's the thing, and we're going to do some math for a while, and let me change it all the way to this one. Okay, so basically the maximum amount of damage a bow can do is pretty much just 11 damage, and yes, I opened up a calculator up here, and wait, let's so basically if we do the math, basically no wait, 160 divided by 11, at most you need to have like 15 arrows if you manage to somehow fully charge a bow and somehow manage to get critical arrows. I mean, arrows that do critical damage. You're going to need 15 arrows of critical damage all in a row. Or let's assume that you just have like just regular fully charged arrows, and let's change it all the way to 6. You're going to need like 27 at best. But let's assume that wait, let me change it. Yeah, much better. But let's assume that you don't really go out at night that much, and you don't really like killing skeletons, or I don't know, you haven't even bothered to get all the materials in order to make sufficient arrows and a bow. So the other way is having a tamed creature by your side, and yes, nearly every single creature can be ridden, and not just that, but you can also make them attack while you ride them. And to do that, you have to craft a command staff, which is basically just, let me get a crafting table. What you're gonna need to make this command staff is just a crafting stick, a couple of sticks, and bone, and it's in this formation. Wait, yeah, that's basically how you craft a command staff. And basically, in order to trigger a command staff, you have to get a tame creature and ride on it, and then there. And also, it's more, certain creatures have multiple abilities. So if you want to change the ability, just right click and hold, or tap and hold and then release to change it. So it's all the way to. Alright. Now, if you really want to kill a Tyrannosaurus with a tamed creature by your side, well, the two best creatures that I can recommend are the Triceratops and the Saurophaganax. Now the Triceratops is an easier tame. Like you can get it like it's pretty easy to tame. Like you can tame it with like I don't know a bunch of rooted trees or grassy trees you can craft with your typical crops. And the reason why I recommend it is because they have this ability where if there is a boss nearby or an apex predator like a Tyrannosaurus, it will gain resistance and strength, which will make fighting that threatening thing easier. And the reason why I also recommend the Saurophaganax is because well yeah, it's later. Yeah, it's pretty much later on. Like you can only tame it later. You can tame it like way later than a Tyrannus than this Triceratops, but and they're also nocturnal, which means that if it's daytime, they'll go to sleep and do nothing. But they are far stronger than Triceratops, and even stronger than Tyrannosaurus. So whatever so whatever you want to choose, well, it's pretty much up to you. But let's just use a Triceratops for now, just to demonstrate. And let me change the time set day. And then we're going to spawn a Tyrannosaurus. And spawn it all the way up over here. And then I'm going to show you how to fight it while in survival mode. So let's change the game mode to game mode S, so that we can eventually kill it and then grab and then gather its eggs if it manages to drop it. And well, what do you know? Its survival buff ability has activated, so let's try to hurt it. And yes, now normally this would hurt a lot, but well, what the hell do you know? It killed it in like I don't know 3 hits, and guess what? It barely even hurt this poor thing. Yeah, that's right. That's pretty much what the Triceratops is pretty much one of your best friends if you want to kill Tyrannosaurus. And now we're going to try the Saurophaganax. But first of all, we're going to have to set the game mode to creative, and then we're going to spawn another Tyrannosaurus, and then let's time set midnight so that this thing will wake up. Now, I know I forgot to tell you this, but it has more health. And then I'm going to change the time to time set midnight. Wait, no, that's wrong one. Game mode S. And now let's go over to it and just try to kill it. And how you know, it also died in like 3 fucking hits. Pretty cool to think about. But unfortunately though, still no it's pretty much still no eggs, which is pretty sad. And that's because the drop rate for the eggs is pretty much only 12.5%. So unless you're really lucky, well, you're not gonna get one. You're not gonna get one right away. And the final step, and I'm going to show off the final step. I mean, which is pretty much just the bow. Game mode. No, let's still keep it at night. Which is the bow, and I'm going to game mode S, and so this will be this is going to be the harder one. This is going to be the harder method. So let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh wait, no. 8. And oh yeah, that's the roar. And it's gonna be pretty annoying. You're going to have to deal with that sometimes. 8, oh god. Yep. 9. See, 10. Dear god. This is getting annoying. And also the reason why you aren't hearing any sounds from them is because I turned off sounds for entities. 12, 13. Hey, I haven't got hit. Pretty nice. 14. Oh god. Yeah, I haven't got any critical hits, sadly. 16. 17. Ah, yes. What the hell do you know? Well, still no egg, sadly. Alright, now this should be our final one, and I hope we're gonna be lucky this time. Oh boy, we're gonna get hit. And, well, what the hell do you know at last? We got ourselves an egg. Hell yeah. And yes, this is basically the hard way of obtaining a Tyrannosaurus egg. Now let's go on to the easy way. Alright, so every once in a while in the extreme hills biomes, and yes, only in these biomes, you're occasionally going to find this sort of structure. It's pretty much a Tyrannosaurus nest, and it has a sleeping Tyrannosaurus and an egg nearby. Unfortunately though, if you try to get the egg in survival mode, the Tyrannosaurus will wake up, and if there are any other Tyrannosauruses in the area, they will also wake up and try to help the one whose egg got stolen. So just be careful. And so let me demonstrate this to you by getting some let me get some iron equipment so that we can demonstrate this easily. So and also swiftness, because well, I figured that would be great. So yeah, swift speed 2 should be good. And I think jump boost would also be good as well. Yeah, jump boost 2 should be good. Alright, so let's get the game. Yeah, so also you have to sneak. Like, you have to sneak so that the Tyrannosaurus will not wake up. So just be really careful. Oh god. Okay, never mind, it woke up. Yeah, this sucks. This fucking sucks. Why the fuck did I have to? Oh, come on, please. Please go away. Please go away, please, for fuck's sake, please. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to kill you. Let me kill you with the power of commands. I forgot I had much better. Dead for once and for all. Like, let's assume that I just killed that thing in cold blood, and so what you gonna do? And alright, so you have an egg at last. So what you're gonna do is that you're going to sneak and then interact with it, and there. That's the easy way of getting a Tyrannosaurus egg. Alright, so you managed to make it out alive with a Tyrannosaurus egg in your hands, and all you just need to do is to hatch it. Now, in order to hatch a Tyrannosaurus egg, you need to put it in a warm environment, but unfortunately though, the plains biome isn't really a warm environment. So what you're going to do instead is to tame a Dimetrodon, and it's pretty easy to tame them. All you just have to do is go to a desert or a swamp or some savanna, and then just give them some flesh treats or fish treats in order to tame them. And these are going to be really helpful in hatching not just Tyrannosaurus eggs, but pretty much eggs of every other creature in general. And in order to make it as now, in order to make it somehow able to hatch this egg, what you're going to need to do is to put it in a warm environment. Is to set the Dimetrodon into flame mode by giving it a flame stimulant. And how to craft a flame stimulant? Well, first you're going to need is the first thing you're going to need is to tame a parasaur, or Rolophus, and they're pretty easy to tame. You're just going to have to find them in plains biomes and then just give them grassy treats or rooted treats. And then what you're going to need to do next is to craft a harvest staff. In order to do that, let's get some sticks in this formation, and cobblestone in this formation, and there's your harvest staff. And what you're going to do is that you're going to ride it around and then use the harvest staff on grass blocks. And that's the first essential ingredient in order to craft our flame stimulants, which are truffles. The second ingredient, of course, is going to be, well, blaze powder, which means that you have to go to the nether. the third one is pretty much exotic meat, specifically cooked exotic meat. And in order to find some exotic meat, all you just have to do is just find some. Well, basically, every single creature, almost every creature added by this add-on drops exotic meat, and you're just gonna have to cook it. And finally, a bowl. Pretty self-explanatory. And the crafting recipe for the flame simulant is shapeless, so just put it something like this, and there. That's our flame stimulant. And so what you're going to need to do now is give this to the Dimetrodon. And as you can see, it is hatching, and you can tell if an egg is hatching by seeing if it is emitting green particles, because otherwise it's not going to hatch. Unfortunately though, this process is going to take like 5 minutes, so we're just going to have to do a time skip. Alright, so after like 5 minutes or so, this egg has managed to hatch into a baby Tyrannosaurus. Now, all you just have to do now is to give it some flesh treats, and there, it's all yours. A baby Tyrannosaurus of your own. And all you're just gonna need to do is just to give it some, just give it some meat in order to make it grow into an adult. And there, that is how you tame a Tyrannosaurus, or literally every single tier 3 tame in Prehistoric Rift. Alright, now, how to tame an Apatosaurus in case you're still dumbfounded on how to tame it for some reason, because it's a tier 3 tame, and tier 3 tames are tamed by killing an adult just for an egg. Well, guess what? You're just going to have to kill it, like always, except that the process of taming an Apatosaurus is the same as the Tyrannosaurus, except that the easy way that applies for the Tyrannosaurus, it straight up doesn't exist for the Apato. Like, there are no nests that you can raid. The only way to get their eggs is to kill them. So let's do this, and yep, this is going to be pretty easy. And also, because their attack speed is so fucking slow, you can just circumvent it and, well, what the hell you know. And look, we're lucky. We got ourselves an egg. And just like the Tyrannosaurus, the Apatosaurus eggs will also only hatch in warm environments. So let us put this Apatosaurus egg and flame stimulant again, and then we wait. And well, what do you know? It managed to hatch into a baby Apatosaurus that we can use and ride around. And so all you just have to do is give it a couple of leafy treats, and it grew up instantly for some reason. Like, it grew big. Pretty much an adolescent now, and all I just have to do is give it a couple leaves. So let's give ourselves at leaf blocks, leaves 64, and then there, we're going to make it big. And yes, this is going to take a while. And yep, that's pretty much how to tame an Apatosaurus. If you manage to reach this part of this video, well, guess what? You earned a fucking brain cell. Now go apply all the knowledge that you gained from this video and apply it while playing Prehistoric Rift, just to tame tier 3 creatures. Anyways, that's all for this video, and goodbye for now.